Welcome to Blog Talk Radio in high fidelity.
order the book on these two websites. So mainly it is all online, and if you just Google Manhattan Alien, you should be able to uh, look at the choices. And a lot of people are downloading books on their Kindle, Nook, or even their iPhones or Android phones. And it's
Mhm.
sometimes people read in the train, bus when they're traveling, and it's an easy way to read the book. You don't have necessarily to have a Kindle or Nook. And that reminds me, by the way, if you don't have a Kindle or Nook, iPad has a Kindle app, and you can download books on the Kindle app, and my book is available uh, through these resources also.
Mhm. You really made an important little declaration there, and that is you can read while you are on the train. I know that I personally have done that, and it's a great way to just kind of get some of your time back, especially if you live in a metro. Being in the LA metro, it's busy. It's insanely busy, and occasionally taking the train is a way that you can say, you know what? I have an opportunity to have the next 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or hour all to myself as opposed to dealing with traffic. And you really can read a really good book in that amount of time. That's a really great suggestion. Another
Hmm.
question that I wanted to ask of you is is this book for um, everyone? And what I mean by that is that do I need to be someone who's reading this book that is new to a new country, very broad, not necessarily even to the United States, but should it be for someone who is, hey, I'm new in a country too, let me read this book? Is it for men, women? Is it for Americans that are born here as well as people that are coming? Who would you say is your target audience for your book?
Well, the target audience is not necessarily anything specific. I mean, this book and the story is about an immigrant uh, person who happens to be a doctor in this book. But
Mhm.
the target audience is wide range, right, from like teens to as old as 90 years old. And
Mhm.
it's very interesting that you asked me if this book will be appealing to people who are not immigrant. I think so because uh, I agree that this is a story of an immigrant, but uh, looking at your own country from a different perspective through the eyes of an immigrant will give a
Mhm.
different idea uh, to the American audience, and I'm sure they'll enjoy my book. In fact, some of my friends who are not immigrants, who are, of course, born and brought up here, and they don't have, ethnic origin in India, they enjoyed this book a lot, and they said, "Oh, we never thought that this could be thought of in a different way like this because we
Mhm.
different never saw the different perspective looking at things." So there is no specific audience. Anybody wants to read can enjoy. Men, women, children,
Mhm.
anyone about age of like teenager who can read is open to everyone.
Mhm. Mhm. I think people really truly do kind of forget. I am born and raised on the East Coast. As an adult, I moved to the West Coast, and that's where I have lived for um, almost 20 years. And when you first arrive, and I think that the same is true if you are leaving the West Coast and coming to the East Coast, we call it culture shock. You're just surprised at how people do things, from the way they talk, the way they dress, the foods that they eat. All of those things can be totally different, even though you are citizens of the United States. States within themselves are just so vastly different. So I can perspective and getting someone to understand that there's more than one way to look at a particular something. Well, listeners, we need to take our very last break, but when we get back, we're going to finish our conversation with BK Mhatre. We'll be back right after this.
Easter has been perverted. Faithless corporations have sacrificed Easter's religious significance. If you are truly faithful, you must come out of the shadows, or your faith will be persecuted permanently. It is your God-given duty to stand up and shout out. Remember, God says faith without work is dead. Your active obedience to God is reflected in the decisions you make. That is why you will receive 100-fold of what you give. At ResurrectEaster.com, we help educate and mobilize Christian consumers to use their money to help build a healthy Christian economy. Our mission here at ResurrectEaster.com is to preserve Christian traditions for all, affordably. The decision you make today will cast a vote for your values eternally. Where you shop and what you buy sends a direct message to business owners. You can only truly prosper whenever you support businesses with Christian values. We call that Save with Your Dollar. Journey to ResurrectEaster.com right now.
And we're back. I want to give the last few seconds to you, BK, and that is, what would you like for readers of your book to take away from having read this book?
Okay, so the takeaway message is something very important, and it's given the current political climate and somewhat negativity towards immigrants. I would like to say to your audience that, the immigrants who come to this country, they come for two main purposes. Is number one is how my skills or their skills can be useful in this country for the betterment of United States, and secondly, obviously for their better life, education for their kids, and better prospects. So the immigrants should be viewed as your friends who are trying to help build your country, and this has been going on for n number of years in the U.S., and we have seen in the history that immigrants are helping rebuilding or building the United States, and they should not be seen as outsiders or somebody who's taking their jobs. In fact, they should be treated with passion and love, and not with hatred, and they should be thought as your distant relatives or distant brothers living in different country, but who have come to help you in this country. That's the takeaway message I would like the audience to take from this book.
Yes. Well, BK, thank you so much for being on Modern Living with Dr. Angela. We have enjoyed our time with you.
Thank you so much.
And listeners, thank you for joining me for Modern Living with Dr. Angela. And as always, may you continue to have an awesome, awesome, awesome week. May God shine his face upon you. May you receive his grace and his mercy in all you do. Until next week, everyone, be awesome. Bye-bye.